Okay, so getting started with Inquisitor. This is just some things I pulled out of my stash of stuff that I take when I host a demo for Inquisitor. The things you basically need, and I will provide some links to some very good knowledge online. Of course, the Inquisitor book, you can find this as a PDF with updated information. You can find revised versions, fan-made. It's available if you're wanting to play Inquisitor. PDF will get you started for sure. Some dice. Of course, you're going to need some percentile, and scatter dice is always nice, and at least 5 or 6 d6s. Writing implement, some various types of rulers or tape measures, always good. It's a war game. These are what you usually would need. Miniatures, it doesn't matter if you're playing with 54 mil or if you're playing with the 28 mil, the regular GW figures. You could do both. A character of either your own making or one just out of the book to test around with. I've redone the character sheet so I can use a grease pen to keep things up to date, like wounds. And then there's all the extra stuff that I have with doing a demo. I try to make the game as easy as possible for the players to learn. So I have some house rule information. I have a copy for each, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4 pages, or four sheets. Both sides have information directly related to playing the game. Damage tables, the basics of injuries and recovery, and I go through this in about an hour-long Q&A before we even start playing, especially with new players. So, the close combat summary, basically, I boiled everything down. It's in the main book into some really quick, hey, let's get started, let's play forms. This turn sequence, I'm hitting all the main beats, including the arc of facing and all that. So cheat sheets you can find. This is a newer one I found online that somebody had did. I can't remember if this was somebody at the Conclave or where, but these are really invaluable. So you need some cheat sheets, you need some character sheets, you need some kind of miniatures. If you play Inquisitor at 54 mil, a yard, if you would look at the main rules, a yard is an inch. If you're playing at 28 mil, then a yard could either be a half inch, and I've seen people use centimeters. All right, that's the gist of what you need to get going. And I'll go a little bit more detail of each one of these pieces in this getting started. All right, so the first thing you will need to play Inquisitor is be able to go over the rules. So you can either find a copy of the main rule book online, or there are some revised edition PDFs that you can find online as well, and of course just PDFs. Then once you have that, start thumbing through it. There's a lot of stuff here. Just familiarize yourself a little bit with the book. You don't have to know any rules at all. Just look at it, familiarize yourself with the sections, and just that will help. And once you have that under control, then you of course, we talked about getting dice and the record sheets and things like that. miniatures. You can find the miniatures on eBay. A friend, a local shop that resells. You can find. I found some there. You can find 3D prints, and you can go ahead and enlarge them about 160% to 166. I found just depends on the miniature whether or not it'll be right. You can also find other figures that can be hacked up and changed. So, kit bash miniatures is something you can do. It works out really good. That's where you can find the miniatures. Of course, you're going to need pencils and stuff like that, which we already talked about. The book is the main thing. You're going to need the book. And if you have a demo game in your area, sign up, play. Once you get past that early stage, then you're good. You really, there's not much. Once you get past the hump of, you look at some of these rules and you go, what are they talking about? Total wound value, and shock, and just injury total, based injury values. There's all this sagacity. Sage-acity is a word that, maybe that's common then, for this, but most role players, you never heard of that. So, but we'll go through it. We'll go through the basic concepts in the next video. This video just wants to get you started. So I'm going to throw some links for some PDFs. There's some groups online, the Conclave. They have Discord. They have a forum. There's all these other places so you can find all the pieces you need. I've created a sheet on, I don't think it's over here, a sheet on building a character, because there are rules in the back about building characters in here. But my suggestion is to stay away from it, because you end up making the Ready Reckoner. You really end up making characters that are just way too over the top. And it's a role-playing game. It's a narrative role-playing game where we're creating a story together with the other players. It's not really about points. It's not really... It's got skirmish elements because there's miniatures and tape measures and dice and terrain, but it's not all that. It's more than that. So I hope you follow the rest of the videos. I'm hoping I'm getting information across. If there's anything in particular you want to know, like skip ahead, let me know. I can, in the comments, and then I can go over that. And maybe spend a little more time. And in the future videos, if there's something that needs to be more explained, do you feel? Things do get confusing, especially if you don't know the rules to begin with. They just might not work out. Just hit the comments, and I'll either tag another video or reply directly, or we can, at some point, I just do a live stream where we can discuss the rules. Like I said in a different video, earlier video, when I introduced Inquisitor, I'm going to be doing a demo in about 3 weeks. It's already October. It's October 1st. So the October 24th, on a Friday, I'll be doing 2 demos back to back. Starting at 9 a.m. And I plan to run the camera and try to capture some of what I do when I'm training. My first session will be with, I think everybody's never touched Inquisitor. They've heard of it, but never gone there. My second session, the evening session, will be with players that I have had at least in 1 or 2 other demo games in the last 2 years. So they're experienced, highly experienced, and I'm hoping that we'll see a difference when we go through that. Anyhow, this is the first digging through, pulling back the veil on Inquisitor, and I'm really hoping that I get some more momentum of people playing. Thank you for your time.